Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. Today we are going to start chapter 551 of I Have 90 Billion Licking Gold Coins. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. Wonkai, how much profit have we made so far? Master, your current profit from the stock market has already surpassed 5 trillion US dollars. How much? 5 trillion. In USD? This was just insane. If Qin Yuan remembered correctly, South Korea's entire GDP last year was around $1.1 trillion USD. $5 trillion, that was nearly 5 years of South Korea's total GDP. It was as if the collective labor of 52 million South Koreans for 5 whole years had been wiped clean and all harvested by Qin Yuan in one go. Wang Kai, don't tell me you even harvested our own people? Yes, master. Well, I guess all the leeks have been cut now. Let's just wait for them to grow back before we cut again. Uprooting them entirely would be too cruel. God knows how many will jump off buildings after this. Wrap things up, quickly. Yes, master. Just then, the television in Qin Yuan's office suddenly cut to breaking international news. According to reports, top Wall Street firms and countless international investment giants had all been wrecked. Even the stock god wasn't spared. He had planned to make one last kill in the market before retiring in glory. Who would have thought his swan song would be so disgraceful? Now that Wang Kai controlled enormous capital and could predict every fluctuation down to the detail, even the sharpest investor was nothing more than a vegetable in front of AI precision. South Korea, once ranked 10th among world economies, had now dropped 5 places. At the same time, the chairman of Samsung-like giant 3-star group, Park Jung-jae, had become the center of public scrutiny. The country's economy needed big corporations to step in and save it. But this guy? He was out flirting with girls at Seoul University. Yo, Suna, why are you studying so hard lately? I know this amazing Japanese restaurant. Want to go with me later? Don't bother me. I have no time. I'm studying. Come on, Suna. Just say the word and I'll get you anything you want. Just go out with me once. No time. I have to prep for the entrance exam to Yin University in China. Isn't your group facing a financial crisis right now? Why are you hanging around here instead of dealing with it? Lin Shudong frowned in annoyance. It's fine. Just a little crisis. Won't shake the foundation of 3-star group. We have professional managers to handle that stuff. I just need to steer the ship from above. Besides, nothing is more important to me than you. Sarangi. Ugh. Spare me the cheesy lines. I'm not interested in you. Shudong rolled her eyes coldly. No matter how many times you reject me, Suna, one day I'll make you fall in love with me. Park Jung-jae declared with conviction. To him, she was a goddess. Even the way she read was breathtaking. But Shudong only gave him a disgusted look. She absolutely hated guys like this, shameless and clingy. Can you be any more desperate? Just then. President, what are you still doing here? We've been trying to call you, and you didn't pick up. Something major just happened at the company. Manager Shin? You came here yourself. President, our group's stock price has collapsed. We've lost hundreds of trillions of won in market value. The board pumped in funds to stabilize the market, but not only did it fail, we've now got massive capital trapped in dead-weight assets. Our cash flow is breaking down. On top of that, there's a rumor going viral that you and Kim Soo-ju are getting a divorce. The Kim family is furious and is now selling their 20% stake in the company, pulling out completely. This news caused our stocks to hit rock bottom again. And just now I got word, Feiduan Capital, under Yin General's control, has already sent someone to the Kim family estate to discuss a stake acquisition. The Kim family is one of our major shareholders. If Feiduan Capital secures their shares, plus the ones they've been secretly buying on the market, 3-star group might actually change ownership. Qin Yuan could take us over. At these words, Park Jung-jae exploded. Qin Yuan, you damn dog. Are you seriously reaching this far? I haven't even made my move yet, and you're already trying to gut me. Then forget it. We'll strike now. Call Morgan Group, Red Umbrella Capital, Soft Gold Consortium, Rockefeller Group, and the Rothschilds. Remind them of the 200 million Pangu, 7 phones they pre-ordered. According to the contract, CY Tech needs to deliver the first batch now. If they can't meet the schedule, demand compensation immediately. They don't have enough high-end chips, so this should cost them at least a few hundred billion USD in penalties. Yes, President. I'll call right away. Also, calm the Kim family. Tell them it's just a couple's quarrel between me and Suju. No divorce plans. At the same time, rally funding domestically, bank loans, new investors, whatever it takes. We cannot let Faeduan capital take control of Korea's economic lifeline. Yes, President. With that, Park Jung-jae gave a powerful wave of his hand, exuding an air of arrogance that seemed to pierce the heavens. Then, surrounded by dozens of towering, black-suited bodyguards, he swaggered away. Meanwhile, while countless companies in South Korea were filing for bankruptcy, one name began rising like a phoenix in the storm: Amakusa Group. Their capital source was unclear, but all their employees, from the top executives to entry-level workers, were locals from Seoul, and they were being hailed as angel investors. As one company after another faced collapse, Amakusa Group extended lifelines, offering to buy stakes and inject funding. Sure, the deals were rough, snagging large shares at rock-bottom prices. But in desperate times like these, survival mattered more than pride. No one had room to negotiate. Not going bankrupt was already a win. The fact that someone could step up and pour in real money during a financial crisis, that earned them a ton of goodwill. As Amakusa acquired more and more companies, its reputation grew steadily. And its mysterious boss? A man named Yao Chi-tan. Rumors said he was originally Chinese, but now he has obtained Korean identity and permanent residency, so he can be considered half Korean. Chapter 930. Seeking help from the U.S. The appearance of the Tinso Group had managed to save quite a few companies. But it was still just a drop in the ocean. There was no way a single Tinso Group could reverse the course of the financial crisis, or stop the tide of bankruptcies and skyrocketing unemployment. According to Korean media reports, just yesterday alone, the unemployment number surged by 500,000. And 1,235 companies officially declared bankruptcy. More than 100 CEOs found themselves deep in debt, some even driven to the rooftop. The crisis kept spreading, spiraling out of control. Violent robberies broke out on the streets of Gangnam, and social order began to collapse. The massive evaporation of wealth had triggered a chain reaction affecting every aspect of life. Even the younger generation that had given up on the rat race couldn't stay unaffected. At the same time, the public in Korea began blaming China for the crisis. With Faeduan Capital and all companies under Chairman Yin becoming targets of extreme backlash. In their eyes, it was Faeduan Capital that caused the collapse, leaving millions unemployed and countless families in ruins. Chen Yuan, now infamously dubbed the financial demon, became the public enemy of an entire nation. All Chinese aid was rejected. In the end, Korea couldn't hold out any longer and officially turned to the United States for help. At this moment, Chen Yuan took out his phone and called Niechiozi. "Boss, I've already established a foothold in Las Vegas and successfully taken over the gambling operations," she reported. "Good work. I need a favor." "Of course, boss. Just say the word." "You've heard about the Korean financial crisis, haven't you?" "Yes. Word has it even the so-called stock god took heavy losses. And several Wall Street moguls lost fortunes." "Don't tell me." Niechiozi's voice trailed off. "It's exactly what you're thinking," Chen Yuan said with a faint smile. "Lately, the Korean public has been hostile toward Chinese interests. They're resisting my moves to acquire stakes in groups like Samsung, SK, Hyundai, LG, POSCO, GS, Lotte, and Manhwa. But here's the thing. They don't have that kind of resistance toward Americans. So I need you to make a trip to Korea. Go as a U.S. capitalist and acquire shares in those companies under that identity. I'll give you $1 trillion as your working capital. Once you gain control of those companies, your influence in the Skull Society will skyrocket." Chen Yuan's tone was dead serious, like this had all been meticulously planned. But in truth, he just thought of it 2 days ago. Niechiozi's favorability was already at 90, time to rack up more lit gold points from her. Plus, since Korea had just turned to the U.S. for help, Niechiozi, with her American identity, was the perfect candidate to take over the Korean economy. This gave Chen Yuan the perfect excuse to spend money on her guilt-free. "Did you say $1 trillion? You're giving me $1 trillion?" "Yes," Chen Yuan replied calmly, even though she had already seen many sides of her boss. Niechiozi was stunned yet again. $1 trillion US dollars? That's around 15 quadrillion Chinese yuan, or 12 quadrillion Korean won. To hand over that much money to her, what kind of trust was this? And even more shocking was his ambition. He didn't just want a piece of Korea. He was aiming to control its entire economy. With control over all top 10 conglomerates, he could practically decide the fate of the nation with a single word. This man, truly terrifying. No wonder I chose to follow him. Only someone like him could challenge the Skull Society and even become its ruler one day. Nietzsche, favorability +1. Current favorability, 91. I understand, boss, she said, then hung up the phone. Turning to the man beside her, she ordered, Carl, get the private jet ready. I'm heading to Korea. Yes, Miss Catherine, I'll prepare it right away. Oh, and bring more people this time. We're going as a powerful U.S. financial force, offering angel investments to aid the Korean people in their time of need. This is the will of the gambling god. At those words, Carl's expression turned serious. Nowadays, gambling god was the ultimate title in Las Vegas. Even Jesus had to step aside. Understood. I'll contact the governor right away and request military escort, since this was going to be a high-profile arrival. They'd make sure the spectacle matched. 10 private jets, 1,000 men, all marching under the banner of the gambling god. In recent months, under the alias Catherine, Nietzsche had, through Chin Yuan's connections, taken full control of the Las Vegas underground. At first, Carl had been skeptical of her, but after being crushed by the Queen of Killers, he bowed his head in defeat. With $100 billion in funding, Nietzsche merged resources and soon controlled the entire gambling empire, becoming the undisputed underground queen of Vegas. Money and power, she had both. Now, her journey to Korea would mark the start of her global legend. The next day, 10 a.m., Seoul Airport. All the major corporate chairmen of Korea had gathered at the tarmac in person. You hear the news? Even the Wall Street tycoons took heavy hits during this crisis. SK's chairman personally flew to the U.S. for help. I also heard that a mysterious American financial group is coming to rescue us. They're willing to invest heavily in Korean businesses to ease the pressure. Still, one financial group alone can't turn the tide. Unless it's someone like Morgan Bank, no one has the capital to truly save us. At this point, just staying afloat is enough. Forget about going back to the good old days. Just as the crowd murmured in worry, a luxury aircraft descended onto the runway. That's it for today's chapter recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest manga, manhwa, and manhwa recaps. Got thoughts on today's chapter? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on the story. Also, if you know other fans who were reading this manhwa but stopped because it got axed, share this video with them. The more support we get, the more motivation we'll have to keep making these videos. See you in the next one. Until then, keep turning the pages.